Alrighty then, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is not the Ramsey Show After Show. This is answering your financial questions live. Okay, and I think the sound is good. I do adjust it one more time. It was way too loud today. Again, I don't know how it changes, but that's for production to worry about and not for you guys to worry about. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And if you want my other financial content, you just go to my homepage, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and scroll down past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show, 568 of those now, and this is number tonight, 152 of the Answering Your Financial Questions streams. And I believe we'll have to check the ticker. I'll check that at the end. Actually, you guys can read it now. But I believe I'm planning on doing an 8 p.m. stream tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday night as well, I believe. And we'll find out that later. But unlike the after show, where I have like couple different segments, including market report and sometimes financial articles or any other kind of articles that I'm interested in, we just go right to questions, and we go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. It's the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and it is run by fans. It is not run by Ramsey Solutions, although plenty of people on here think it is and act like it is and act like people from Ramsey Solutions are gonna read it. And I mean, it may be somebody's job to keep up with it for whatever reason, but generally they're just questions or comments, and so you wouldn't think somebody would have to, but who knows? Anyway, we are up to this one, Rude Attention 4926, dating. And everybody, and of course, before I read it, I always answer the question first, because with the Ramsey advice, you always know the answer. I mean, occasionally some things like what baby step you're on, that'll affect it, but the people's details don't really affect it. And especially something general like this. And so in regards to finances, as far as dating, if you are a baby stepper, if you are on the baby steps, theoretically, then it's going to be pretty important to you, because most people will not do the baby steps, because God forbid, Mr. Ramsey suggests that you don't buy something that you don't need while you make your finances better, that you don't finance anything, that you don't have any debt, that you don't debt leverage, and so most people will not do it. But what I say on dating, and people think I'm kidding a lot of times, get a lot of laughs. I say bring up Dave Ramsey on the first date. And now you don't exactly have to do that, but you do want to talk about general money stuff, like debt on the first date. If it's so important to you to live debt free, then why would you want to? I mean, you can find out on the first date if the person has debt, for one. That doesn't mean the person's going to stay in debt, but has debt for one and is not interested in changing that at all. So, and then it's up to you to decide if you want another date with that person. And that way you don't have to waste either yours or their time if it's not going to work out anyway. Let's see, how do you navigate the dating world? I read this one. Female 44, starting baby step 3. Okay, on track to be a baby step millionaire. What was this? Buy my first home. I've let two, yeah, and she let two different perfectly capable men destroy your finances and become lazy mooches because of my desire to please. Yeah, you got to stop trying to be a people pleaser to do that. Don't let people use you in your desire to please them. So what is the question? Oh, just basically, are decent men even attracted to a woman who has her ish together? Or is it just men looking for a sugar mama? And of course, as always, there's both. So you just got to have a better bad detector of bad. Underrated critic, just paid off the last of my 30K. Though I still have my $492 a month car payment, sell the car. That's too much to be having. That is too much. I mean, unless like you really like the car and you want to delay your baby steps by a year while you pay it off for a year or however long you have to do that. But generally, sell the car. But again, it depends. If you can pay off all your non-mortgage debt in 3 years, Mr. Ramsey is fine with it. So that would be up to you. But selling the car immediately gets rid of the payment and all the debt that you owe on it. Confident Staff 8792, Health Insurance Insanity. Did I read this one either? I can't remember because I just do a little preview of it and like read the title before, so I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, they're talking about it increased. Yeah, we did do that one as well. And yeah, it's going to increase. And so, yeah, definitely shop around. My mama told me you better shop around. What would you do? The update. Update, monthly net income $15,000. Mortgage payment 38. Oh, and this person, yeah, I did this one too. I'm so sorry to repeat things. 100K in additional debt, including car loans. Yeah, so you would not be getting another. What is it? Stay in the house and work toward paying off the non-mortgage debt in the year. I believe this one was this person could do either one, sell the house, which would take care of all the debt, I think, and rent temporarily, or you can pay it off, but that's a lot of more. I believe they were slightly over the guidelines as well. So, and what would Dave do if you're over the 25%? He's probably going to tell you to sell it and move down in housing. And you can rent because, again, a lot of people don't do this, but when you start the baby steps, you don't just, oh, well, I'll just start with step 1 and keep going. And it doesn't matter the dumb crap I did before. I'll just pay for all of that stuff on step 2. You know, in step 6, paying the house off early, even though it's too much house. No, what you would do is undo the dumb crap you did, like you would you would not excel, but you would sell expensive cars. And get a beater instead. And so you would do that, and that would advance you on the baby steps much further. And yes, if you sold the house, you would not have a house there, but you would be starting the baby steps. You would be immediately in a better financial position because you would not have any debt, because selling the house would pay off all the debt. Yes, you'd be renting, and of course your financial bros are not going to like you selling the house to pay off your debt. But guess what? If you were following the Ramsey baby steps before you bought the house, you would not be buying the house, because saving the down payment for the house is on step 3B, and guess what? That's after step 3, which guess what? That's after step 2, which is pay off all the non-mortgage debt. So there's no house while you have non-mortgage debt. So you're doing it wrong. You did it wrong, and it's time to just stop being dumb is the idea. What step is moving to a larger house? Again, can't remember if I just read it and just gave a quick preview of it, but step 7 for me. The idea is not to constantly be, even if you get raises, the idea is not to constantly be upgrading in the mortgage amount, continuing to upgrade to a larger mortgage. So if you can get a larger house for cheaper or the same amount, fine, of mortgage, because that doesn't set you back any, except other than closing costs every single time you do that as well. But otherwise, you don't need to do that. Oh, what is it? We have around only on 90 British pounds low. I would love to not have to upsize, but I can't see a family of 4 and 2 pets living in this house throughout the whole childhood. Why not? Small terraced house. We welcomed twins last year. Started to realize our starter home is getting too small. Our family. You mean for our family? I believe in the UK they have the word for, F-O-R. So, and only 90K equity. People love to upgrade vehicles and houses when they have 1 or 2 children. Especially, that was twins last year, right? Hey, guess what? They're not taking that much space up at the moment. And even if you apparently had 2 pets before they were born, so the pets can still be wherever the pets are going to be. Still. I believe my pal Sid, pal Sid has pets, and they don't have to buy a larger house now that she is a child. So, you know, especially when they're just born or when they're toddlers even. People love to do this crap in advance as well. They just, oh, well, we need to get it now because they're already alive. It doesn't matter how much space they take up or how many rooms they need at the moment, which is none. They can basically be sleeping in the parent's bedroom in a crib. So just trying to hurry up and do it. People want to do everything all at the same time. So that's a no. You can't see a family of 4 and 2 pets. That's because you want to do it. And wanting to do it, you don't need it, though. You do 100%. You do not need it. Do we finish our full emergency funds and then start saving for a larger but modest forever house? No such thing as a forever house. Guess what? You might have said that about this one. So you're just, I mean, the forever house is what a little thing we like to call hashtag justification station. And that's a George Camel thing about you justifying your dumbass debt. If the interest rate were lower, we could probably afford to buy now. With current interest rates, it's not feasible as the monthly payments would be so high. Thanks in advance. Yeah, so do it later. So yes, you would continue on the baby steps and finish your full emergency fund. Do we finish our full emergency funds? It's just one bit. Just one for the both of you. You don't each get one. The twins don't get one, not even to share, or not one apiece. They don't get a separate emergency fund. Full emergency fund is one thing, and that's 3 to 6 months of your personal expenses. And so, yeah, there's no house buying until you would have to save the down payment to move up in house. You use the equity in what you have, which is only 90K quid in this case. British pounds, low, not the US dollar, but you should be saving all that up in cash to upgrade, so that you don't take on one more extra cent of debt, because you don't need to. You know, I mean, you know, what if they're 8 or 9 or something like that, but again, you don't know what else could change. So many different things could change. You could move anyway. You could move to another state. You don't have no idea what's going to happen. So quit trying to plan for 8 years from now and buy a house now and wanting the house now for what is not going to happen until then. Struck my question. This one I don't think I read, just looked at. For the preview, okay, my wife and I are expecting in January 2026. Alrighty. Be here before you know it. We were only doing $50 for health savings account a month this year, since we are both healthy humans and would rather have use the extra money towards paying student loans. Yes. Work is allowing us to catch up and hit our maxes. So far would account for $3,900 total over 4 months, being about $975 per paycheck for the year once our new contract starts in September. Okay, so that's a no, because what you do with money, the millisecond even, that you find out you're expecting a baby, you pause the baby steps and just pile up cash. Now, piling up cash, I mean, I guess you could say, because it's kind of still your money and it can be used for medical reasons, and that is the reason you pile up cash, but it's really for anything that happens during a pregnancy. But so, I mean, you could possibly talk somebody into that. I don't know if you could talk me into that. But the idea is to pile up cash, not pile up HSA money. Where are we? We bring on roughly 10K a month combined after current deductions. HSA catch up would bring us down. Trying to decide if we should do the catch up, nope, or not. Or as we were more thinking about what if it ties up the money, yep, that could be best be spent on other stuff. Yes. Once we get January 2026, we would reduce it to half of the total amounts we can get. Okay. HSA are separate for wife and I, as we have different insurance with different employees. Okay. And that's fine as well. I don't know if catch-up is worth it. Apart, it's not from tax. As we could throw, that's through, is what you wrote here, the $1,950 into our high interest saving account and get with Ally current interest rate for us being 3.44030. Thank you for going out to 5 digits, five decimal points. Thank you so very much for doing that. Not needed. I don't know which option, would be better. Only other consideration is Ally. I believe does have withdrawal limits for day/week/month. Yeah, you don't have any money tied up. You don't want it tied up if you're gonna possibly need it for something. Worst comes to worst, I can get a credit card with no interest deal at my bank, so that, okay, so you lost me there. Quit being dumb with your little crap. Trying to be a financial bro family there and doing dumb stuff, including taking out debt. And I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Ramsey. This is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. And in case you haven't heard of Mr. Ramsey, he's the no debt guy. And no debt leverage. So that's a no, a no, a no, and a no, and a no on your dumb bullcrap. Tekatemi? I don't know. Talk me down. What do you got to be talked down about? Hi, everyone. 56 female DH. That would be your dear husband. And I love it for the internet talk. It's like forums and chat group, etc. It's Facebook, whatever. And they do the DH, it means dear husband. He could be an asshole. We don't know. So we have no idea. We haven't met him. We're supposed to take your word that he's a dear person. Anyway, but it's not just husband. Husband is fine because that's an accurate statement. The deer part, we have no idea, and you haven't proven it. So I don't know why people do that. That's one of just the dumb things people do. Is semi-retired due to health issues. Empty nesters, no debt except $185,000 on house at 3%. Max out work retirement, contribute to IRA, and HI savings. Household income savings? I don't know what HI would be. 1 year of emergency savings, and that's a no. It should be 6 months until the house is paid off. And guess what? You haven't paid off the house. Oh, let's see. Does it say anywhere? Let's check the baby steps in case Mr. Ramsey changed them. It says step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. It doesn't say, oh, and if you're dumb and want to do your own crap, certainly save up another 6 months on top of that before paying off the house. It does not say to do that here. Dilemma is 4 years ago, we took advantage of the housing market in our high cost of living city and moved to a low cost of living city. Advantage of the housing market in a high... Oh, okay, so you sold high and bought low, probably. Paid off debt and put 50% down on a house. Should have put 100% down on it. I still work remotely for the same company. I'm fortunate to keep my high cost of living salary. Great. Till they find out you work in a low cost of living salary. Maybe. Some of them change salaries based on where you live. We have financial stability, but I miss my family, old city, and life. Oh my goodness gracious. Gonna run back. So, and then what's to say you won't dislike the high cost of living again and want to move again? Make up your darn mind. A new city never felt like home. That can happen. I have advancement opportunities if I were to move back, and we would be in network for my husband's health issues, which is big. Why'd you move in the first place then? Quit being so flighty. Our monthly expenses would go up, yeah, by $2,000 a month, and I would still be able to max out work to retirement. Very doable, but it would mean I'd probably have to work a few more years before I'm able to retire. I'd also have to carry a higher mortgage at a higher rate, and that is not the idea. Especially with a dear husband being semi-retired. It is not the idea to increase expenses, especially increasing them by moving to a higher cost of living city. Part of me thinks if we don't make this move now, we may never be able to afford it again. Why? Why? You're actually doing better by being in the lower cost of living city. So what's going to happen that makes you not able to afford it? I would have to have some additional clarification on that. Part of me thinks we should stay put for a few more years and save more. Yeah, and hope the housing market improves. Help. Well, you don't hope the market improves. I mean, if it does, great. If it doesn't, that's just the way it goes. You buy when you can afford it. And of course, that mortgage. And again, the idea is not to keep getting a higher mortgage. You actually did the right thing by going down in mortgage before, instead of just keeping it, but you could have just kept it. But no, you don't know what you want. See, because of that, and now you want to move back, I don't trust you. I don't trust you because you'll get back there and then you'll be upset about the high cost of living stuff again. So I just don't trust you. How many? 19 comments. Let's see if there's additional information. I forgot what kind was I looking for. Forgot what additional information I was looking for though. Only if we be able to pay up the new house before retired in 9 years. There's no way. I was planning for 6 years, undecided on location, but definitely not where we currently. Well, anything else? A little heart there. You can't take your money with you. Enjoy the time you have responsibly. Important title. Why title this Talk Me Down? Yeah, that's a good question. That means you know darn well that it's not a good idea. Always worried about bad financial decisions. Yeah. I like having no debt. Yes. You make a great point about quality of life. I don't remember if I think they still owe money on the house they have there. So and your house would be paid before you would have a freaking 1 year emergency fund. So you doing that wrong. Anything else from OP? My original plan was retired. Yeah, we already did that. Is back home the old high cost of living city or a third location? Yeah. So, all right. So, I don't think we got the information I was looking for. I forget exactly what it was. All right. Buying a car. It's from Generic Wife. Okay. All right. I mean, could still be fun. You never know. We have to buy we have to buy a bigger vehicle. No, you do not. For our growing family, did you just have 2 twins like the other people that are less than a year old? Guess what? 2 twins can fit, and also another adult or 2 in addition to the driver can fit in a compact car. Quit being a dumbass. People are always, we have to do this, we needed it. You're full of crap. We'll have about $16,000 to spend. From where? I'd prefer to get a vehicle with lower mileage because I'd like to keep this vehicle for at least 10 years. We put about 10K miles a year on our everyday car. Would it be smarter to buy a vehicle with about 120 to 30 miles for 16 or 70K, effectively buying outright, or go into about 2,200 monthly debt for 6 years? It's the Ramsey subreddit. Did I mention that? So I love the people that want advice asking, is it better to not have debt or to have debt? Dumbass. I just don't want to have to be doing major repairs for our new vehicle in only a few short years. Guess what? That could happen if you buy a brand new car, dummy, for way more money. Quit being dumb. People are nutty, and all of this stuff was we have to, and then it was justification station for it. A lot of justification station always because they have to justify it. They can't just say we have to and let it lie. No, because they know damn well they don't have to, and so that's why. They think they need to justify it. Pepper Heidi. Okay. Can we sustain in our current plan? It's the sustain. Listen to the sustain. That's from what is that from? Oh, gotta remember I just opened it. Didn't open it in a new tab, so I'll just have to go back to get to it. Gotta remember that. But the sustain, can you hear the sustain? That's from this is Spinal Tap, and they are making a sequel to that. 75 man and 69F. I don't know, man. If I make it to 75, I probably will have difficulty sustaining anything. 500K in money market, 630 home currently for sale. Why? No mortgage. Why? Moving down? 65K river lot and 60K 3.5 acre lot. Both can be developed for some additional income. For what? You're too old at this point. You should not be landlords. Unless it's like, you know, really, really passive stuff. Obviously, you would pay somebody else to manage it. I would think if you know what you're doing and at 75 and 69, then you can manage it yourself, but it wouldn't be some crap like it's property and then we're gonna develop the land and quit that crap. Even if you could do it all in cash, but I mean, if it's just your cash, knock yourself out. Retired masonry contractor, building contractor. Okay, 10-acre homestead valued at approximately $750,000 to $1 million. But we need about 40K to remodel it. If you do not have liquid assets of 40K, then we shouldn't even be having any of this conversation. None of this should be happening. None of your extra things, even if everything's paid for in cash or lots don't have mortgages or whatever, loans on them, etc., etc. If you don't have 40K in cash to do a remodel, then you're not doing the remodel. Mortgage balance 80K. Yeah. See, there's no doing that. Then one more pristine 750K to 1 million 2-acre property on a very desirable river. Sell one of the properties to fund crap on the other one. My husband doesn't want to sell the homestead. Of course not. Because it's loaded with fruit trees, timber, bamboo, creek, tennis court, and entertainment areas. You can get lost in millions of projects living there. Great. So I guess you got your answer on that then. Currently growing. So you would sell some of the freaking land then. I don't care what you're growing on there. I wonder how we're going to keep this place up. Yeah, me too. I'm wondering about all of this stuff. I don't want to sell. So we got things that we don't want to do, even though it's better to do. I would prefer to build. Then I want to sell the valuable river property. Great, sell the other two then. I would prefer to build there and live smaller. Okay, if you can do that in cash, do that. If not, no. Our plan is to hold on to both, but that will require developing the lesser valuable properties. Make up your darn mind. They're just like the kids today. You got 20 and 30-year-old people, even 40-year-old people that are trying to do all of this dumb bull crap all at the same time, and it's not quite as ambitious as yours is. They're just trying to go on vacation and fund retirement, and also buy too much house, and and they have limited incomes, and you're in the same situation. You got limited money that you can work with, and the money you do have to work with is in the form of properties, and so to use that cash, you have to sell said property or properties. Our plan is to hold on to both, but that will require developing the lesser valuable properties. Our Social Security is really low because I didn't work, raised and homeschooled kids. Hey, another reason to stop being an old dumbass. My goodness. And my husband didn't make that much, but we always invested in real estate. I guess it's paid off. You don't know it's paid off for sure. Since my husband and I don't agree on selling which property, it's hard to see how we can keep up at this pace. I got a great idea, and this is for couples in their 20s as well. Communicate. That means talk to each other instead of going on the Reddit. Talk to each other. Compromise somehow, even though you both want to sell different properties. Compromise somehow. And if you can't do those two things, either communicate or compromise, or maybe some people can't do both, you need to get counseling even at freaking 75 and 69. Quit being dumb. At some age, before you die, you got to quit being dumb. The house that's on the market is a 3,300 square foot home. We remodeled ourselves and it wore me out. I imagine I can supervise the next builds, but really all I want to do is buy a camper and take off. Well, then quit trying to spend money on other things then, if that's all you really want to do. The problem is that might not be all he really wants to do. So you guys have to work that out between yourself. There's we say a little thing called "My name is Paul," and that's between y'all. How do I juggle all this? You compromise with your husband. I mean, and sometimes the compromise is you do something that neither of you want to do, which is like you would say, if both were logical, they would say, well, since we can't agree on what property to sell, how about we sell all of them? And then we have cash and we can do whatever we want with it. So that might be an idea. I'm the one that is in charge of the projects, but you don't get to decide what place the project is done. I handle all the finances, organize our days, do all the shopping, prepare all the meals, and do all the cleaning. He does most, not all, the responsibilities on the 10. He does most, not all responsibilities on a 10 acre. It's going to require hiring someone at some point. Yes, all of this will be because you dumbasses are getting older. And so, and you know, at some point, I understand you have a lot in real estate. Net worth millionaire, even if you have some dumbass debt you didn't set to say about. It says mortgage balance 80K, which that you would not have a home mortgage while you own all this other crap. That would be a no on that. And we can check the baby steps on that. Does it say buy other properties anywhere on here? No, I see pay off your home early. That's all I see. I don't see any where it says buy dumbass properties instead of having a paid off house yourself. No, so you would only be buying that stuff once you're in step 7, and you were never in step 7 because you never had a paid off house. So quit being dumb. People love to be dumb. There we go. I remembered to click back instead of close the window. Then I wanted to open all this again, etc., etc. Debt removal, Psycho Cupcake 2064 debt removal. Well, the way you remove it is by paying it off, and how you pay it off is you do not spend the money on anything else. People don't seem to understand that. And it's not that they don't understand, it's that they don't want to because they want to spend money on other stuff. This may not be the right place for this question, but any advice is appreciated. You know my advice, quit being a dumbass. I'm working on paying down my debt. Great. That is what you're supposed to be doing. And you're supposed to be doing more than working on. You need to be intensely doing it. Gazelle intense. I have a car repo in my credit report from 2019. Nobody gives a crap. You do not need a credit report. Your credit report does not affect you other than you not being able to borrow money, which is the whole idea. No borrowing money. As far as a mortgage, you can get a mortgage with manual underwriting. The repo could affect that still, though. But I don't give a crap about that. Should have bought that. Should have thought about that when you financed a car you could not obviously afford. I found out 2 months ago from the original lender that they charged off the debt to a third party in 2022. However, they are still reporting on my credit report as if it's under them. Should I pay them? No. Call them and ask them what's up. Because the original lender told you they charged it off to a third party. Now, some people have in-house debt collectors, and they may, that actually even may be a subsidiary company or something like that, or a partner company or something like that. So it actually is a different company, but it's basically still within the ownership group. So that's possible. But otherwise, they sold it to a real third party. And so either way, they told you that, so I would not give them any money. And again, quit buying. Everybody wants to fix their credit. Quit doing dumb stuff. You don't need credit for anything other than borrowing money. And guess what? Ramsey subreddit. Mr. Ramsey's the no debt guy. You don't need it. Should I try to find out who the third party is? Yes, because you will eventually settle with them. You'll pay off your current debt first. And then you would pay off the collection debt. Now, the only exception to that is when you would do that in the middle of the baby steps, if they happen to call you and you say, how about if I settle for you for some ridiculously lower amount, way lower than the original amount was, and they agree to it, then you say, great, send me that in writing first, and then I will send you the payment. I'm not going to give you access to my bank account because that would be dumb, because unscrupulous collection companies can then take out more than you're supposed to be paying and more than the agreement was. They're not listed on my report. Should I ask them to remove it since they're no longer in charge of the debt? Yeah, you can do that if you want. But we don't care about credit score, though. So stop caring about it. Some people never will, though. Taste the unexpected with AI glasses. Try live translation and order chapu lines with confidence this summer. I don't know what chapu lines are. Well, some of our chap lips. I don't know what it would be. The card, a Twilight Zone episode. Let's see, from Cisco Lupe. I guess the algorithm saw that I followed Dave Ramsey and decided to show me this Twilight Zone episode about the dangers of racking up credit and not paying. Warning, kids in the episode. Okay. Fun times. That's interesting, though. If I remember, I'll look for that one. Tinterview. When you say I'm paying cash and the dealer looks at you like you just spoke fluid dolphin. Mr. Spock doesn't speak fluent dolphin, but he can mind meld with them. Nothing says alien life form like showing up with actual money in a dealership. They treat you like you're smuggling gold doubloons. Meanwhile, Chad with a 620 credit score gets champagne for financing a Kiyo. Of course. Stay weird, budget nerds. Let's normalize checkbooks and confuse them all. Yeah. And we're gonna always be the weird ones. We're not gonna be the normal ones. And it won't be normalized just because most people won't follow the Ramsey advice, because that means sacrificing and not buying things or financing things the second you want them, especially when you can't afford them anyway. Snack cakes. One, medical debt. What about it? See if I can do this correctly. Open in Nuteo. There it goes. Did it correctly that time. Yes, dude. No dementia. At least not today. Hi guys. I was in the step putting 15% into retirement. That would be step 4, ladies and gentlemen. And in a few months after I'm fully saved for this expensive house repair. Okay? I will have extra money to apply to my mortgage. Unfortunately, I had my gallbladder removed in December. You can still pay off debt. You can still do the baby steps with no gallbladder. I paid off the small bills and at the big one up on it, set the big one up on a payment plan. No interest. Now I need to have my thyroid removed. I keep getting texts and emails for all these bills I owe on, but I haven't had anything mailed to me yet for emergency rooms and multiple tests I had done. Then do you not have insurance? Then I'll have a bill for that surgery as well. Yeah. I plan to do the same thing, pay the little ones and get the big one up on a payment plan. My question is, since these bills will have no interest, should I throw extra money at my mortgage? No. You're in step 2 again. Sorry. I know you don't like that, and so you should not have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund either. You're back in step 2. Sorry about that. My question is no interest or extra money in the mortgage? No, that's no. See, this is what people want to do because, I am on step 6. I'm paying extra money. No, you're not. You're on step 2 because you have a debt because you didn't have enough money to pay that. And where's the insurance involved? Getting insurances in place is part of baby step 0, and you should do step 0 before you did the investing in step 4. So you did it wrong, apparently. Or should I take care of medical first? You would do step 2 first. And if you had even before all this medical stuff, if you had other non-mortgage debt, hey, guess what? You shouldn't have been on step 4 anyway. And so that was pretty dumb. You did it wrong. We pay off all debt and we have the full emergency fund before we start investing. And if you have to have medical debt, there's no choice to do that. You can't pay it. Insurance won't pay it, or you don't have insurance, which is not advised. Insurance is advised for you to have, and that, again, getting that in place is part of baby step 0. So you already should have done that as well. Sorry. So if you have a full emergency fund, guess what? That goes back down to $1,000 because you're on step 2. See, you went from step 4 to step 2, even if you got there the correct way. But I feel like, for me, didn't just skip to step 4 just because wanted to. I feel like. But I don't know 100% for sure. But either way, guess what? Oh, we're down to step 2 again, which means we have no step 3 emergency fund. So you go back to $1,000 and you put all of the 3 to 6 months money, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Other than the $1,000, you put all that to the medical debt. Sorry, that's the way it happens. People never want to do that, though. They want to do their little way of doing it, because it makes them feel better, I guess, to be on step 4. And certainly, it was great for me to be on step 4, but guess what? I did it right. Eventually. Finally, when I started doing it at all, I did it correctly. Criticism, no. Or criticism number 9538. Hey, Ramsey fam, mid-40s, career pivot. What professional paths truly scream value. I don't know, dude. I don't know. What is it? Already Dave Ramsey fan, big time follower, fully immersed in baby steps. Great. So you would not change career paths until you get at least on step 4. And I've spent over 23 years in a unionized facilities role. I'm hands-on problem solver. Pretty good with systems. Great. Definitely have a knack for getting things done. My current plan is to ride this role out for another 10 years. Great. You got plenty of time to figure out what else to do. Good career ahead. I'm considering earning a debt-free BMOS accounting degree over the next approximately 8 years. That's a long time. My dream is a second career post 55. That's totally different. If you are going to cash flow them, that's fine. Knock yourself out. Hopefully you'll like it. Guess what? Some people, and of course they don't consider this when they take out all the student loans, even if they do graduate for their with their expensive student loans, and so they have a good job to pay it, but sometimes they aren't able to get that job, and sometimes they are able to get that job, and guess what? They hate it, but they got to do it. So or some people just quit because they don't want to, and then they still have all those student loans to pay off. So dumb as crap to take out student loans. Marcus 206, large expenses hurt my soul. Yeah, well, don't have any. Don't have any. And, I mean, you know, if you, I don't know, fall off the bottom step of your apartment in Arkansas and you fracture your humerus right there, if you do that, you got to have medical attention for that, and then you got to pay it off. You got to pay the bill. 28, you know, insurance might cover some. And that's why you get insurance. And in step 0, getting insurance is in place. 28 man, married to 29 female. We stick to a tight budget of around $2,000 a month. Save, invest majority of our income. Large expenses mentally mess with me. For example, yesterday my brake started acting up. We're grinding sounds. Okay, well, so guess what? If you hit the brake and it makes a weird grinding sound, you're probably going to need new brakes, or worse. Or you have worse damage and it's going to cost even more money. And if you would take a little step on the logic train with me. Let's go around the track together, shall we? Doo-doo. I'll even let you pull the cord and do that, make the train whistle sound. Take the logic train with me here. If you would like the car to work safely, you have to spend that money. And so, you know, you being a lot of people on the subreddit, of course there's dumbasses, mostly dumbasses probably, but some people just are so nutty in the way they think about things and waste so much time worrying about things they can't control. They're just nutty, that's all. Let's see. For example, Granny, I'm going out of town and wife needs car, so I had to fix ASAP. Yeah, you did. $550, boom. Yeah, that's the way it happens. That's how much it costs. This kills me. Wham. Wham. So 28 qualifies as an adult. This is adulting. Be an adult. Quit whining like a little baby. Now budget is way over, and I keep wondering if I get... Well, you didn't have that in the budget. So the budget is not way over. You just have an unforeseen expense. So if it's because you couldn't invest as much as you wanted to, tough crap. I don't care. You know, it's great when you can save and invest money. This time you can't because you have to have new brakes. It's life. Deal with it. Embrace the reality of the situation instead of trying to be too precious with, oh, this kills me. It does not. You just don't like it, and tough crap. It happened anyway, and you had to deal with it. So, oh, I don't know. Stop. Don't buy the next thing you want to buy. Let me take a look at your budget and let me cut some crap out of there that you're spending money on. How about that? And then we can make up that 550 eventually. And the budget is way over, and you keep wondering if I get ripped off. What do you mean if you get ripped off on the? Oh, well, you can. I got a great idea. Google how much does it cost to change brakes and find out if they did anything else. They would note that on the invoice, and so you can find out the average of how much that costs by Googling it instead of whining on the subreddit. Reddit confirms I got an average deal. Then shut the hell up. Shut up with your dumbness. How can I mentally get over this? Okay, so again, you being able to handle that you have to pay $550 for them to replace your brakes, and that is an average deal on it. That is called adulting, and if you can't be an adult at age 28, then you have to see a psychiatrist, sir. I realize this is what emergency fund is for, but now I ate large expenses and ruined my weekend. Wham! Be an adult. Quit whining. People are so dumb. Geo Crypto Man. 30K in my 50s. I have 30K saved after my divorce. Lost everything 5 years ago. What would you do in the next 16 years to grow? Any advice? Thanks in advance. You would follow the Ramsey advice and the baby steps in general. Beep, 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 doo. You don't get any little special stuff because you have crypto in your name, and that would not be the advice at all. Mr. Ramsey would steer you away from that. So don't do that dumb crap. Boy named Judy, interesting. But then there is, of course, Hey Jude, don't get that, which started out as Hey Julian for John Lennon's son, and they changed it. Less 401k, begin investing. What? Less 401k, begin investing. Okay, so let me break this down for you, boy named Judy. Your 401k, you are not going to believe this. That, my friend, is an investing account. It is offered by your employer, but it is an investing account. So what's this begin investing stuff? People are so nutty. Seeking advice on what? Maybe this person means investing in their own dumb crap in a brokerage account, crypto maybe, some other things, day trading, whatever else. We'll find out in a second. But that would be a no. You do not do that type of investing until you're on step 7. Let's see. Lately, I've been debating on which moves are the right ones to make. You know, I'm out of here when the crypto is mentioned again. Or other dumbness. Let's see. Quick bet 38. Man, married, single income, 1 kid. Only current debt is our house mortgage. Oh, hey, guess what? You would be investing 15% only, and that would go into a retirement account. Stop being a dumbass. The Ramsey advice is so easy to understand. You're crazy. No car payments, great. Emergency fund is in place with about 3 to 4 months living expenses and savings. I recommend a 6 month if you have a home mortgage, because guess what might happen? Anything might happen to your house. You have more liability because of your house. More things can break because it's your house and not the landlord's house. They don't have to replace things, you would have to replace it. But also, guess what else might happen if you have a mortgage? You know what else might happen? You might have to spend $550 on freaking new brakes, and you'll be upset like the last baby was. Not baby stepper, just a baby, a whiny baby. Contributing 6% with employee, match 6% traditional 401k. No Roth or investments established. Well, then you're doing it wrong, because the advice is Roth. If you can do Roth 401k at work, which this is interesting. I did not know this previously. But I don't know if it's the same with all brokerages or all 401ks. But mine, that's administered by Fidelity, you get to say how much you want to go into of your contributions. You get to say the exact amount that you want to go into the 401k and the amount that you want to be in the Roth 401k. Even though the description of the account just says 401k and the name of the company. Not Fidelity, my company. And so, but yeah, I thought that was neat that you could do that. I thought I would have to like get it changed from a traditional 401k to a Roth 401k. But you don't have to. And besides, they'd have to leave the 401k right where it is anyway, because you have to have a 401k to put the match in, because if you put contributions in a Roth IRA, they can't put the match in a Roth 401k. They have to put the match in a traditional 401k. That's part of that law, and the law, of course, is, it's something like paragraph 401k section, or 401 section K. It has the K in parentheses, so it's like one big law that it was part of. Now, corporate emergency funds in place 34 months. As I said, 6 months is what I would say. Contributing 6% employee, match 6% into a traditional 401k. Okay, you have to do 15% into your retirement account, not other bullcrap investing. And we still don't know what he's talking about with that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, maybe he's talking about running his own Roth IRA, but again, the 401k is investing, so you're already doing it. Living on less than we make, rather frugal, not fancy. Great. I bring home just under 6k a month after taxes, with about 3k in living expenses. What should we be doing with that extra 2 to 3k? You apply it to whatever baby step you are on, and you are not going to believe this, but you see here where it says in step 4, invest 15% of your household income into retirement. You do not do more than that, or other forms of retirement. I mean, other forms of investing. You do not do that until your freaking mortgage is paid off, and that puts you in step 7. So this is a no, and all you had to do was read the baby steps to figure it out. But you didn't do that, so it's what should we be doing with the extra 2 to 3k? It goes to the house. I mean, and of course, since you're on 4, maybe 5, you're on 4 and 6, definitely, maybe step 5 as well. But you would be applying it to all of that. You would be doing the 15% for sure. You don't lower that and put more at the house. You don't lower that and put more towards kids' college. You do 15%. And you do not do 1 penny less than that. You do not do 1 penny more than that either until you're on step 7. So you don't do that. We can try putting in savings, but I'd like to start investing in mutual funds. What is your 401k invested in? It's probably invested in mutual funds. So you're already doing it. Quit being dumb. You're just misphrasing it. So you think the 401k, just because it's administered by your work, I mean, you theoretically would have picked a plan to go with, funds to go with, probably a dumbass target date fund that they all try to throw you in. And actually, I saw on mine, it's run by Fidelity, but the option, I didn't really look at them, but the options they have for you to choose from, if you just choose from options instead of choosing all your own, fortunately they let you choose all your own. It all started with VA&G, and so that means the Vanguard, why wouldn't they be using their own Fidelity ones? That is so dumb. I don't know. A lot of people just do nutty stuff. Anyway, should we start investing whatever extra margin we have after monthly living expenses in mutual fund? And so, which ones? No. You do not do your own stuff. Now, if it's in a Roth IRA, yes, you would prioritize that over your 401k. If it's just in a brokerage account, you do not start that, again, until step 7. Should we adjust my 401k contributions up so that the margin is smaller and banked into retirement? You should be doing 15%, just like baby step 4 says. So we're not trying to rewrite the baby steps. We're trying to actually read them and do what they frickin' say. It says invest 15% of your household income into retirement. It does not say any other number there. Okay? So how about we do what the baby step says? That's what I would suggest. Start a Roth through my employer. Yeah, if you can start putting money in a Roth 401k instead, do that. Yeah, and then you don't even have to, if you're putting 15% in a Roth 401k, then you don't have to do the Roth IRA. The only time the Roth IRA would take precedence over a Roth 401k is if you can get better freaking investments in it because you're managing it yourself rather than it being run by an employer. And you might have limited options in there. And so, but either way, yeah, you do 15% and that's all you do. And that your extra money that you're talking about investing, oh wait, I just wanted to check. It says pay off your home early. It doesn't say pay off your home early unless you want to debt leverage the mortgage and have a separate investing account in order to have the continue to have the mortgage so that you can have another investing account. That's debt leverage, and that's a no from Mr. Ramsey. He's the no debt guy and the no debt leverage guy. So no, everything you're doing is bad. Oh my goodness gracious me. I didn't realize it was so close to 9 o'clock when I started that question. We've outgrown our house a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna skim it and see if there's anything else. But we've grown our house a little bit, and again, do we recognize anything here? They want to do everything all at the same time and are tired of the neighborhood. I don't give a crap. Buying a nice house and moving somewhere else in the city seems like a lateral move, considering our mortgage is cheap and we're locked in a low percent. Yeah, if we move, that's not a lateral move. You're actually going into a worse financial position if you move. Quit being a dumbass and trying to put a good spin on things that you want to do. Stop it. New mortgage payment would eat up any margin we currently have. Yeah, so that's why you don't do it. That's a no on that, which wouldn't allow for investings or savings. That's right. That is the whole reason Mr. Ramsey says that you should keep the house payment at 25% of your take-home pay. That is so you have money. You know why? You know why you need money? Even after you have a mortgage and even after you are investing 15%, because you need money to finish the baby steps, which includes kid college if you want to help them and you have kids, which includes paying off your home early. And guess what you can't do if you're doing all the dumb crap you want to do? You cannot do investing the 15% saving for kid college and or paying off the house early. You can't do any of that because you're wanting to spend too much money and move up into a bigger house and have every investment and blah, 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 blah. You want to do everything all at the same time? Stop dumb crap. Alrighty. I just worry that houses are only getting more expensive and we're missing a train that's leaving. Yeah, that's your justification station. There. A train that's leaving the station. Justification station is the one that it's leaving. All aboard. This person is aboard. We have a big 300K equity in our current home. Yeah, so you would not get a mortgage on top of using that 300K equity. You would save up the money. And again, that's why you can't do all of this at the same time. Stop being dumb. Not having an investments gives me FOMO. You do have investments. They're in your 401K. You're so stupid, sir. Wifey wants to look for part-time work, but being stay-at-home mom has been a saving grace. I'm not sure if we're in a good position or if we are behind in the game of life. You are behind in the game of being an adult and the game of understanding what investing is. You are a dumbass. A 401k is investing, so you are investing. You're not putting enough in there. For some reason, you're doing some dumbass, what is it, 12%? Oh, you're doing 6% and the employer matches 6%. Even if your dumbass included the match, which you don't, Mr. Ramsey wants you to contribute 15%. And if the employer matches whatever amount, that's just gravy on the biscuit. So you're just being dumb. And you don't understand simple concepts like investing or talking, apparently, like I am. Any insight or suggestions are greatly appreciated. Learn about what you're talking about first instead of just wanting to do it. How about we find out a little bit about investing before we do that, before we say, I have a 401k, but I want to start investing. You're already investing. Alrighty. I'm not gonna do the preview today since it's already 12 minutes longer than I wanted to go. Let's see when I'll be on next. Probably tomorrow night and Saturday night, the 12th, and the Sunday night 13th, I believe. But let's just see. We'll start the scroll over. So take care of that. Yes, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me if you need to be told. You act like a freaking adult and quit being a whiny baby, etc., etc. My schedule changes too much to use a website, so you just email me to make that appointment with me. We will work it out. coachstevemoney@gmail.com, as it says right there. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively to CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney. It was not taken. Imagine that. Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. That's that same email address. Upcoming streams. Let's see. The Ramsey Show After Show. These are probably the ones that I did this past week. So I did not update this. I think I promised to update it. I didn't have time. Busy, working. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I did do after shows those days, 7th, 8th, and 10th. And answering your financial streams, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday. That's the one we just did. Yay. And so tomorrow on July 11th, Saturday, and Sunday, July 12th. And again, that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Alrighty. And I'll try to have the dates for next week after shows and answering your financial questions, 8 p.m. streams. Try to have that in the ticker and say it at the end of the show for next week. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.